But yes, what I do, and it's actually one of Ian Marber's suggestions, which I found so helpful, is that I don't eat large amounts of carbohydrate in the evening. So to give you an example of what I would eat during the day, for breakfast, I'll usually have a bowl of granola. Often I have Dana's recipe, so thank you Dana for that. And I'll have some almond milk or some rice milk or one of the alternative milks on it, just to cut the gluten and the dairy content of the meal down a little bit. And I'll always put some fruit on. I might put blueberries on or raspberries, and I try and buy organic if I can. And because that's got a really good mix of complex carbohydrates and protein, because there's nuts and things in it, it keeps me going till lunchtime, so I don't have to eat anything else. I try not to have too much caffeine, because caffeine causes your blood sugar to go up and down, an awful lot. So I have that for my breakfast. And then at lunchtime, I usually have a bowl of soup. I try and make it, or if I'm feeling far too shattered, I'll just buy it. But I try to buy the healthy ones. And I'll have a slice of whole grain bread with butter with it. And I'll usually have a protein source with that, something like peanut butter or maybe some cheese or some almond butter, something like that. And then I'll have a low-fat yogurt, something along those lines. And then in the evening, it depends what time I eat. If I eat before 6 o'clock, then with my meal I might have a small potato or a little bit of rice. But I try to make it more about the protein item, and then the vegetables, and then a very tiny bit of the carbohydrate. If I'm going to have my meal after 7 o'clock, I won't have any of the carbohydrate at all. And what that seems to do, because obviously in the evening and you're not doing any exercise, it seems to have helped my metabolism to not pile on the weight as much. Just literally by eating any sort of carbohydrates more towards the breakfast and lunch. You don't want to go too mad. You don't want to be hungry. And if I'm going to have a treat, I might have some ice cream or something like that after it. I don't starve myself, and I don't do without treats or chocolate or anything like that. But what I try and do is make that evening meal light, because obviously with the orthostatic intolerance and the digestive problems, I just can't go to bed on a full stomach, so I don't eat late at night anyway. But sometimes, because of the hours my husband works and various things, we do end up sitting around the table at 7 o'clock, and then I will cut out the carbohydrate, or at least if it's before 6 o'clock, then I will eat a little bit of it, and that seems to work very well. When I was in the early stages of doing this, before bed, I'd have a protein shake, and I used to buy the Solgar vanilla-flavoured soya protein shake, which will give you about 9 or 10 grams of extra carbohydrates. The thing is, I didn't particularly like it. I'm not a great milkshake type of person, but I used to hold my nose and get it down. And after 3 or 4 weeks, I found I didn't need it. So I think I had stabilised my blood sugars by then. And as I say, I only do this now, once in a while, because I don't need to as much as I used to do. But what I would say is that I haven't cured myself of this at all. I still have hypoglycemic episodes. I know I do, because I can chart them. But there's much less now than they were. And I think just eating these lower carbohydrate meals does actually help, to actually make yourself feel better. Because what you're really aiming for is stable blood sugars, not blood sugars that are going up and down all day long. Because that just causes so much anxiety. It makes you feel stressed. You're always looking for something to eat. And this is how I carried on for many years, until I kind of, worked out what's what. And so, no, I'm not slim at all. I'm not. By any stretch of the imagination. I'd like to lose a bit more weight if I could, and hopefully, if I continue along this path, I might. But we've got ME, for heaven's sake. We're immobile people, and we're not going to run marathons, and we're not going to set ourselves targets. It's about how to live day to day, and I know Suzanne42 from her videos is struggling with this, and I completely understand, because the Jenny Craig diet that she mentioned is an excellent way of doing it. I've tried Diet Chef in the UK. That's another great way of keeping your carbohydrate intake under control, and to actually have your meals delivered if you can afford it and if that's what you want to do. But I don't do that now because I found that I can cook my own meals, just really simple things. I mean, I'm not talking about going in the kitchen and spending half an hour making a meal, because I don't. You know, in my case, I might get a vegetarian sort of corn steak and some green beans, and that would be my tea. I mean, I don't do a whole heap of cooking because I can't stand up without feeling dizzy half the time. But you know, it's just about trying to just shift the pattern if you can. And of course, it's only one problem that people with ME face. I mean, under this umbrella of autonomic dysfunction, you've got the temperature control problems, the gastric problems, which I've also got. You've got the problems with the waterworks. There's just so many things that the hypothalamus controls, and blood sugar is just one of them. And you know, I have managed to stabilize mine to some extent, and I have, as a result, got a little bit of weight off. So you know, that's good. But I don't pretend to know all the answers. It's a nightmare for so many of us, I think. And I, you know, I just, my heart goes out to anyone who's struggling with this, really. But that's kind of in a nutshell what I've done. I'm hoping to make some more videos if I can over the next year. That's really what I want to do, because I've been sort of silent for a long time, and I've got lots of ideas in my head to try and help other people, because I have had this disease now. I was thinking about it, 96 it was, so that's 2006, and goodness me, it's an awful lot of years of it, and sometimes I am almost bedbound with it, you know, so but there are days now when I do feel reasonable, and so what I'm going to try and do this year is talk about individual symptoms that have affected me and how I try and combat them. We'll talk about the gastric symptoms, horrible as they are. I'll talk about the sweating symptoms, the memory symptoms, which are some of the worst. I don't even know where to start with those, because my brain fog is horrendous, really. And I've got quite a few funny and maybe not so funny stories to tell you about that. But hopefully, you know, we can sort of carry on helping each other. I know I'm so grateful to everyone who's posted videos, and I just hope that this has been some help to some people, and I hope I haven't rambled on too much. And I'm going to talk to you soon, and hopefully in the next few days make another video. I think the next one I might do the tummy symptoms, because they're pretty dire, and they're not always talked about enough. So I think that's my next challenge. So if you've got any questions, please send me an email. I'll be only too delighted to help if I can. And if you've got any more ideas, then you know, so be it. But if you can get off the sweets and the dextrose tablets and the you know, the sugary donuts and sugary drinks, then you know, it is some help in the battle against hypoglycemia and ultimately weight gain. So bye for now.